Hey guys, it's Team Hardware for you, sitting here at the booth of Riot Games, and we will do an interview for you, which is very exclusive. So, could you please introduce yourself and tell us about your work at Riot Games?
Sure. I'm Travis George. I'm the lead producer on League of Legends, and I work at Riot Games, and basically I make sure that we're doing the right thing and doing it well. So.
Okay. You are presenting the new version here at Gamescom 2011. Mainly, what happened? What will be new? Can you tell us?
I can tell you. So we're very happy to talk about League of Legends Dominion, which is an all-new capture and hold 5v5 gameplay mode for League of Legends. So it's not just a new map. It has a new map in it as part of it, but it's a new way of playing League of Legends, right? And so part of this is that teams vie for control of 5 capture points throughout the map, and there's a scoring system that when you capture points, you actually lose Nexus health. The first team to 0 loses. So basically the game is super fast-paced. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of suspenseful endings. We had a game the other day that went down to like 2-1, like literally the mathematically closest game possible. It's really exciting, and we're showing it here at Gamescom.
Ah, cool. You changed a lot. I mean, the lanes are history. And what was the reason to change these much things?
Well, one of the things that when we sat down to make a new map, because our community's been asking for a new map for a long time now, right? And so we sat down and we said, well, we can make a new map in the same gameplay style. And what we were afraid of happening is potentially splitting the community, right? Like which one becomes the good map and which one becomes the bad map, right? Or which one becomes everybody's favorite. And so what we started thinking too is, there's a lot of really cool gameplay in the MOBA genre, right? Like leveling up, all the deep items, all the different champions that people play, all the different strategies that come out of that. And we said, you know what? We can still keep all that, and we can put it into an entirely new experience, not just a new layout of something,
Okay.
And so we really wanted to kind of push the genre forward and try something new and different.
Dota 2 is celebrating a big tourney as well, and is Dominion the first step to be very different to Dota?
Well, I wish that I could make an entire new game mode in the time since they announced their tournament to now. That'd be excellent. But we've been working on Dominion for a really long time now, and we could have released it earlier, we could have announced it earlier, but we really wanted to wait until it was really, really awesome, and then not just announce it with a press release or something.
Okay.
We wanted to actually announce it and let people play it and see that it was real and fun and awesome. And the timing, you guys can believe me or not, but the timing with Dota 2 and Gamescom and everything is actually pretty coincidental. If I could have gotten Dominion out to players 3 or 4 months ago, I would have, right?
Okay.
But it's just, we've been working on it for a long time to make sure that it's really, really excellent and awesome.
Okay. You released a $5 million tournament some weeks ago, I think?
On Monday.
On Monday?
On Monday we
okay.
announced that Season 2 would have a $5 million US dollar prize purse.
You think that's the right move to promote a game which has not that much professional teams at the moment?
Well, actually, so we have a pretty good amount of professional teams and competitors. The reason that we went with $5 million for Season 2 as a whole is that we already have that scene, right? With our Season 1 championship that happened in June in Sweden at DreamHack, we actually drew 1.7 million unique viewers watching the actual games. We have some top teams competing. And the reason we went with $5 million is to really, we want to expand that even more, right? And so there's a lot of people who want to be competitive, and instead of just focusing on the very, very, very top teams, we want to continue to focus on the top teams because they're the best of the best, and then also give other people who may be not the best of the best, but the best, and then just below the best, a chance to compete in smaller tournaments and local, because people like to play competitive games, right? It's like saying, oh, you can't play basketball competitively if you don't play in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
There's other leagues, and you can play in, university, and you can play in, amateur leagues and stuff. So we want to be able to kind of take that money and spread it out and continue to expand and lower the barrier to entry for competitive play.
So do you think Dominion will help to get more casual gamers to get pro, so that they will aim to getting pro?
Well, Dominion and our esports strategy are actually they're not entirely the same, right? And so we released Dominion. Well, we're going to release Dominion. We haven't released it yet. We're going to release Dominion, and the intent there is to really kind of evolve the genre and create a new kind of gameplay that we think is really fun. I personally think that Dominion can be competitive. We could have released it a long time ago and without the strategies and depth of everything else, but we wanted to make sure that we had all that built in. And our esports strategy with Season 2 and we're featured in the Intel Extreme Master Series this weekend. There's only 3 games in the world in that, and that's one of the top esports competitions. And so we've added a bunch of people at Riot to be able to do all those things better than we were doing before. So we don't just have to say, well, we're going to do Dominion, which will be a new type of gameplay, right? Or we have to do just the competitive scene. We want to do both.
And tell us about the balance. Will Dominion focus on 5-on-5 mode again?
Yeah, so Dominion is 5-on-5, and one of the big things that, again, we worked on very heavily was the balance. Because we don't want to ruin the balance of one mode to serve the other. And so we thought a lot about it, and one of the things that we had to do going in is Dominion had to have all the champions available, right? Because if you work and you unlock a champion and your favorite champion is Ashe, and we release Dominion and you can't play Ashe, that sucks, right? And so we're not going to do that, right? So we built in a lot of tools, balance tools, to be able to balance both separately. And one of those main ways is through itemization, right? So itemization in Summoner's Rift and Classic League of Legends is different than Dominion, right? We removed a bunch of problematic items, replaced items, and basically, so we control, because you get so much of your power from items, so we basically balance that way.
Yeah, you already said a lot of people like LoL because of the balance. So how long do we will need to get Dominion that balanced like the old one?
Well, we're not sure, right? So one of the things that I'm really excited about personally is seeing all the different strategies that the community comes up with for Dominion. Because I know there's a lot of players out there, and it's my time of being very good at Dominion will be very limited once we release it, because people will play it way more than me. And so I'm really interested to see what players do. And we have ranked game support built in for Dominion, but we won't enable it at launch, because it doesn't make any sense to turn on competitive play for a mode that was released one day ago, right? Because nobody's going to know. And as soon as we kind of sort that out and see how people are playing Dominion, we'll be able to adjust appropriately. But I'm pretty confident that we've got a good framework for people to be able to work within to come up with a lot of cool strategies that aren't crazy unbalanced.
Yeah, a lot of people expected you to release Magma Chamber, the new graphic update. So what happened?
Well, like I said earlier, when we sat down and we announced Magma Chamber, one of the things that we did is we announced it with some concepts, and it wasn't that we weren't working on it. We were working on it, but it wasn't in the state that the Dominion is today, obviously. Through the course of that, we kind of had that discussion of, well, we want to do more. We want to change the gameplay and offer an entirely new experience. As more and more people enter the MOBA genre, we want to continue to support that. And we have 15 million players, so 15 million players aren't wrong about liking Classic League of Legends. And we want to continue to support that, and we will. But we wanted to create a new experience that no one else could offer. And then, if you look at the Dominion map, if you play it hands-on, which you can here, the graphics are pretty enhanced. The ground and everything looks a lot better, and we're going to continue to improve everything about League of Legends, including the graphics. So.
Yeah, I got one last question.
Sure.
You nerfed the heroes who can use stealth.
Right.
So, when we will see an update on that?
Well, so the designers are constantly looking at all the things, and so we're actually, I think this is pretty well known, that we're working on redoing the stealth system in general. Okay. In general, stealth is kind of a tricky mechanic because it's really fun to be a stealther, and it's really, really unfun to play against a stealther, right? It changes the whole way you play the game, and so we're really conscious of what's fun to play as and what's fun to play against. And so, we'd actually have to go corral Morello, who's over outside, to get the specifics on that. But I know that we are working on a way to redo stealth that's a little more fun to play against, as well as still being fun for the champions playing them. So.
Yeah. So thank you for the interview.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, and it was very nice.
Yep, thanks a lot.